Crazy story. It's out of Colorado, but it's also out of Costa Rica and Mexico and Florida and Texas. So this is SentinelColorado.com, Denver. The body of a 5-year-old boy was found in the Colorado mountains last week, about a month after authorities believe he was abused and died in Texas, according to an arrest warrant. The body of Domenic Patrick Acevedo was found Wednesday in a deep ravine near Fraser, according to an arrest warrant filed in Bexar County, Texas. KUSA-TV reported. According to the complaint, the boy's mother, Nicole Christina Aguilar, 25, told authorities that her boyfriend, Daniel Garcia, 26, threw the boy against the wall in a hotel room in San Antonio, and he started vomiting. The following day, Nicole Christina Aguilar and Daniel Garcia drove to Colorado, camped near Rocky Mountain National Park, and left her son's body near the campsite. According to the warrant, the couple then drove south to Mexico and then to Costa Rica. According to the filing, Aguilar allegedly later told her mother what had happened to her son, and her mother contacted San Antonio police and the FBI. The document said Aguilar and Garcia were arrested in Florida last week. Court records do not list an attorney for Garcia, who was arrested Friday. No court record could be found for Aguilar, who was arrested on Saturday. Crazy fucking case. Crazy fucking case. Who the fuck travels around all over the fucking place like that? Hotel to hotel and shit. And that's expensive. What, $100, $200 a day? The only point that I want to make with this story is that the human body, an adult human body, is very fragile. The adult human body is very fragile. Very weak. Very fragile. So if an adult human body is very fragile, then a child's human body would be even more fragile. You can't throw a kid against the goddamned wall. You can't throw a kid against the goddamned wall. And then, what a weird fucking, way to react. The kid's 5 years old, so that means they knew Domenic could speak, Domenic could walk. Domenic, you probably could tell what kind of, personality Domenic had. He was 5 years old, so they knew him. And these are the two people that were entrusted to, not only provide for his security, but make sure he's, well fed and water and housed and all the rest. So that's the only point. You can't throw. I've seen that, like people slip in the shower and just their skull caves in, crushes their brain, and die. Just fell in the shower. Their head hit the concrete. Somebody threw a kid into a wall. The kid starts vomiting, and their first reaction, Nicole and Daniel and Nicole's first reaction is to drive to Colorado. And I looked at all these, this is in Fraser, so this is near Denver, Grand County, so this is near Denver, Fraser, I believe. It's in Colorado. Colorado and Texas, San Antonio is on the southern part of Texas. So even if you was in Texas, it would take forever to get to San Antonio. So if you're in Colorado, right, you're in San Antonio. These, Nicole and Daniel, right, Nicole and Daniel are in San Antonio, a hotel, doing what? I don't know. They're in a hotel in San Antonio and essentially injure their son to a degree that he's going to succumb to his own wounds. Now, their first instinct the next day, not to go to the hospital, not to see if he's okay. Because I guess they're running drugs or something, right? So they got to get the drugs, or they're doing some other shit. Because it doesn't make any fucking sense to hide the body all the way up in Colorado, so they had to drive either through New Mexico or Oklahoma. Because you can't just Texas does not border Colorado. So they would have had to go through 2 different states. No, I think they was doing something else. They're up in Denver, they're up in Fraser. I don't know if they lived there or what the fuck ever. You should have taken them to the hospital in San Antonio, and then they're at a campsite, and they just left the boy there. And did somebody pick up the boy immediately as soon as that happened? Because maybe that's what they were thinking. I don't fucking know. But he was vomiting immediately, so the day after, is he dead? Did they just leave the dead boy's body? Because they said that he doesn't die until they get back into Texas. So they're going to find the boy's body in Colorado, take him to a Texas hospital, and then he's going to eventually die? Isn't that what it said? Like a month? Yeah. They found the boy's body in the Colorado mountains last week, about a month after authorities believed he was abused and died in Texas. Oh, okay. So they already found his okay, my bad. They already found the boy dead. So the boy was already dead when they found him in the Colorado mountains because he was abused, and they said that he was vomiting in Texas. So, yeah, these motherfuckers, I mean, I thought that they had dropped him off or whatever, and then, anyways. Now I'm glad I'm, saying it out loud, because they're just, just saying the facts. But the first thing I noticed, just, that he died in Texas, but they found him in the Colorado mountains. Like, what the fuck was that about? And then later on, they drove south to Mexico, and then to Costa Rica. Who the fuck is Costa Rica even part of isn't it an island? I don't know. So they went to Mexico, they went to Costa Rica, and then they get arrested in Florida. So there's, about 7 states, 3 countries that's involved with this. And I don't know what the fuck is going on, but they're definitely, murder, right? Probably accidental murder. And I'm sure they're fucking sad as shit about it, but all the running around and the hiding and shit. And then you could tell by the guy's face, I think it's white guy and brown woman. But you could tell by his face, it was like, he was running because I guess he didn't want to have to face those charges. The human body is very fragile, very weak. I'm not even for sure. You throw a child up against the wall like, big tough guy, huh? Fucking Daniel Garcia, big tough guy. Boy, you really showed that boy you're a boss. You were supposed to protect him. You were supposed to hurt anybody you were supposed to slam anybody and everybody else's body that would hurt your son. But instead, you didn't hurt anybody else's body but your own son to the point that he died. Can't stand child abusers. I can't stand child abusers. Motherfuckers driving all over the place because they murdered him, and so he didn't want to fucking face the charges. Right? So kills his own son and then runs all over the fucking place. Eventually, Nicole's talking to the mother, and then the mother contacts the San Antonio police and the FBI. So, I guess, good on the mother. Good on the mother for the public, in the public's interest. And a part of me wants to feel like Daniel is just taking poor Nicole hostage, right? 26, 25. But the other part of me knows that that's not the case at all. So, yeah, some terrible news. Also, your dogs are susceptible to freeze to death at 32 degrees. 32 degrees is freezing temperature. That's when water freezes. It's when human freezes. It's when turtles freeze. Anything with water in it is going to freeze at 32 degrees. Now, they might be able to, sustain a little bit, but that's only their winter coat. When it comes to their frostbite, when it comes to their nose, when it comes to their paws, when it comes to their tails, when it comes to their ears, all those are susceptible to frostbite. Frostbite, of course, is when the body constricts the blood flow to those things, essentially killing that thing to save the internal organs. It constricts it, but it also, they're the further, the extremity, right? They're the most furthest extremity. So therefore, they're susceptible to getting cold just by the physics of the damn thing, right? Your ear, there's nothing, no blood going through it anyways. So the human bodies, human bodies are very fragile. So all bodies, mostly all bodies. A turtle shell is pretty tough. A turtle shell. But I don't think you can throw a kitten, a puppy, a hippo, an elephant. What the hell could a baby elephant against the wall with it surviving? Who the fuck thinks that they could do something like that? And who in their right mind would think that that's the best way to handle, What was the 5-year-old? Was he a smart ass? Huh? Would he not eat his baked beans? Was he a smart ass? He wouldn't eat his baked beans? Or what was it? Why did that 5-year-old? What did he do to deserve death? What was the charge, officer? The fuck did you do? The fuck did you do, Nicole and Daniel? You're going hotel to hotel. There ain't no fucking life for a 5-year-old. Well, you had a bad fucking day. You had a bad fucking moment. And he looked at you in a way that you didn't like. He got in your way. So, I guess, I don't know. California recall for Larry Eller, right? He didn't do no shit like that. Larry Eller ain't no Nicole Christina Aguilar or Daniel Garcia. Anyways. R.I.P. Domenic Patrick Aguilar Acevedo. Domenic Patrick Aguilar Acevedo. When you say the name of the dead to the earth are still alive, and people, you need to say it at least 20 times to get it in your head. Domenic Patrick Aguilar Acevedo. Domenic Patrick. We'll just go with that. Domenic Patrick. Domenic Patrick. R.I.P. Domenic Patrick. R.I.P. Domenic Patrick. R.I.P. Domenic Patrick. You didn't deserve to die like that. And if he got abused like that, that's how he's going to die. Almost makes me think there's been abuse beforehand. The fuck did the 5-year-old know? 5-year-old, even if they, did something, wouldn't eat his baked beans, right? You don't waste your food. You eat your damn baked beans whether you fucking like it or not. Is that enough of a reason to throw a 5-year-old into the wall? Yeah.
Hello.